The James Webb Space Telescope launched on December 25th after nearly 3 decades of development. The roughly $10 billion telescope sent back its first images just a few days ago. Christyl Johnson is Goddard's Deputy Director for Technology and Research Investments at NASA. Christyl, welcome to the program.
Thank you. I'm so happy to be here.
So tell us what the purpose of the James Webb Space Telescope is, and what are we expecting to see that we haven't been able to see before?
Yeah, so the James Webb Space Telescope, you can think of it as an extension or the next generation of the Hubble Telescope. As you've seen, the Hubble Telescope has given us some amazing images, but this James Webb Space Telescope is much larger. It gives us a larger collection area. So we're going to actually be able to see even further into the past than we have ever been able to see before. The Hubble Space Telescope was not as far in the infrared as this one is going to be able to do. So not only are we going to be able to see, you've seen the beautiful images that were kind of a little blurry, this will bring them into vivid clarity. And you'll actually, because we have a coronagraph, it's kind of like holding your hand up over the sun or whatever is bright so that you can see all of the smaller details around it. So we'll be able to see formation of new stars, we'll be able to see galaxies and all kinds of things that we weren't able to see before.
But what does that mean when you say we're going to be able to see into the past?
Yeah, connecting to the Big Bang, we've never been able to see all of the physics behind what happened that far ago. This is going to give us a possible opportunity to see way back then for the formation of even how we got to where we are in this galaxy.
So how's it been going so far? Have we, what are those images that we've been able to see?
Yeah, so far we're performing way better than we expected. The launch was absolutely amazing, put us right in the orbit that we needed to be in. The images that you're seeing right now are just the very preliminary images. As you know, there are 18 different mirrors around there, and each of them, we've been successful in collecting an image from each of those. Now the work comes in to actually do the alignment of those mirrors and make sure that we are focusing in exactly on what we want to see. It's going to be a little while before the telescope is fully operational, so we'll be able to see very vivid, clear images, but we are well on our way, and everything we're seeing so far is performing just as we expect.
So tell us about some of the new technologies that had to be developed to enable this space telescope.
That's a really good question. So this is such a huge endeavor. We had to develop so many different technologies to make it happen. Cryogenics, the cryo coolers, to be able to cool that mirror down. When you're looking in the infrared, you're looking for heat indications. And so if you're looking for heat way, way far away, a tiny, tiny, tiny little star that you see out there, you have to be very careful that your mirror and all of your instruments that you've got that are looking out there, that you're not mistaking their heat source as what you're looking for out there. And so we have to cool that thing down really significantly. We had to develop the refrigerators, the little refrigerators, to cool that down as much as we possibly could. We had to do phase sensing so we could align the mirrors. It's algorithms that we had to develop to align the mirrors. We've transferred that over to people in the ophthalmology field so that they can actually do a quick mapping of the eye and be able to tell if someone has cataracts. And we've also been able to help them improve the LASIK surgery because of the algorithms we've had to develop for the James Webb Space Telescope.
So Christyl, I did want to ask you about that. You mentioned the ophthalmology of these new technologies being used to improve life here on Earth.
Yes, we have so many technologies that we've had to, and so we could talk about that, not just with the James Webb Telescope, but there's so many things that people are using every day that they don't even realize came from space, and the money that has been spent on space, like the jaws of life. Everyone has seen those horrible accidents where people get mangled up in a car and you see the rescue workers rushing over with these big cutters to actually cut the person out of the vehicle. That came because we had to have some way of being able to cut metal in a zero-G environment in space with only one person. We developed those, transitioned those to private industry, and now you have the jaws of life. And there's so many other, the run flat tires on your cars. We had to develop that because when the shuttle is landing, imagine coming down on the runway, hitting something, having that tire explode, and then the shuttle does a flip and you waste all of those millions and millions and millions of dollars. And
No,
so
we definitely
that's
don't want that. But
everyone's safe driving their cars now.
so what are some of the emerging technologies that Goddard is investing in right now?
Yeah, so we're investing in some of the most critical ones, I think, are distributed sensor capability. So we're in the future, right, this mission that we have right here is a flagship mission. It's a really big platform. In the future, we're not going to be able to afford to do a whole lot of those. So there will be swarms of spacecraft all working together as one. And those, if we can actually do swarms, and we're doing swarms right now, but imagine reconfiguring those. So you're looking at one source like a storm or something, you have something else developing over here, so you can command part of that swarm to go over here and do some other work. And you can imagine our Department of Defense and intelligence community, all of us have a very serious interest in developing all the tools you need to do that kind of mission.
Christyl, it's NASA's objective to have sustainable life on Mars. What has been the biggest technology challenge to meet that goal?
Oh, wow. The biggest. So because I'm responsible for thinking outside the box every single day, I will say for me, and we know getting the astronauts there is a challenge. The spacesuits, making sure we can hold up to the radiation protection is a challenge. There's so many, but our private industry partners and NASA and government will all work together to do that. But how are we going to communicate and navigate once we get to Mars? Right now, here on Earth, the GPS system that we use has 35 satellites surrounding the Earth, and you have to triangulate 3 of those to pinpoint exactly where you're located. That's how your GPS system works. So how are we going to do that when we get to Mars? Put 31 satellites? No, I think we're going to have to use something innovative like pulsars, neutron stars that rotate with a regular frequency, just like a beacon on the lights. Those beacons actually rotate at such a precise timing that they're like an atomic clock. And we can there are many of those neutron stars out there. If we can triangulate 3 or 4 of those, we can enjoy galactic travel that's very, very precise. Understanding that the GPS system here on Earth, you have people who would love to disrupt that in wartime. And so if we can develop a system that no one can disrupt, we can really have a serious benefit when it comes to space travel.
Well, this is all very exciting, Christyl. Thank you so much for joining us and sharing that with us.
It's my pleasure. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel so you don't miss out on any future Government Matters interviews.